Hello? Are you there? All right, in today's conversation, I want to talk to you about U.S. Bank Business Loan Application line by line instructions. I want to explain to you how to fill out the form properly. Don't go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Certificate Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee, or tea, or vodka, and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to speak to you about U.S. Bank Business Loan Application line-by-line instructions, and I will give you all the tips, tricks, and hacks to help you fill out the form properly so you can boost your chances of being approved. One thing I want to say before going to the actual step-by-step is that U.S. Bank has a diverse catalog of business loans. You have the U.S. Bank Quick Loan, you have the Business Term Loan, you have the Commercial Real Estate Loan, you have the SBA, the government-backed loan that U.S. Bank administers, or grants rather. You have equipment financing arrangements, and you have the SBA Paycheck Protection Program, the PPP loan. And for today's tutorial, we will focus on the U.S. Bank Business Quick Loan. And this is a loan that is really great. Here you have loan amounts oscillating from $5,000 all the way to $250,000. You have a competitive fixed interest rates and monthly payments, flexible terms up to 84 months, really good. SBA financing available, and this loan is great for companies in business 2 years or more, even though we have seen U.S. Bank approve startups that have been in business for less than a year. It's all about how you structure the application. It's all about whether or not you have an existing relationship with a U.S. Bank, what we call here on this show an MPR, a multi-product relationship. And you can secure the loan or not secure. This loan is unsecured, so you don't have to pledge any collateral either at the personal level or at the business level. Not a problem. And you can actually structure this business loan application on an EIN basis so that your business as a whole is reviewed for the loan and not your personal assets or personal credit. And there are no fees for this loan, and you can easily manage your loan through online banking. One thing I also need to know here is that U.S. Bank may file a UCC lien and wants to be in first lien position using all business assets as collateral. This is if you are applying for a loan that is above $250,000. For this quick loan, there is no collateral to pledge. But if you want a loan that is from $250,000 all the way to $1 million, like the conventional business term loan that U.S. Bank has, then you might need to actually collateralize the loan. You might need to pledge business assets for the loan, okay? One thing I need to also say is that if you need more information, please contact a banker. You can request a call, they'll call you back, and or you can call them rather. The number is 1-866-280-3751, or you can just go to a branch. Okay. Let's get into the actual step-by-step. You can see on the screen here if you want to apply. So you have to go to the U.S. Bank Business Loans page, and here you have to click on the Quick Loan. You click Next, and first of all, they are asking you for your zip code. So you have to put a zip code. U.S. Bank actually covers the whole United States, but there are some geographies that they choose not to do business within. So you really want to double check that with them. But you put your zip code. If you qualify, it will tell you anyway. So you click Next, and then they're asking you for the ownership and purpose. So first of all, they want to know if you are the sole owner of the business. If not, you need to explain to them the percentage of equity you have in the business, and you may also have to list personal information about all the other partners or owners. This is important for U.S. Bank in terms of risk mitigation, in terms of legal exposure and legal protection, because if your business were to default on the loan, they need to have the party they need to pursue. Okay, You have to click next. So in this case, we just hit yes, we are the sole owner of the business. So here you can see on the next slide where it says here, do you have a significant responsibility to manage or control the company? In this case, we put yes. How do you actually evaluate control or significant responsibility beyond equity? So equity, you need to have at least 50% of ownership, even though we have seen in certain applications that US Bank will consider you a significant person within the company if you have more than 25%. So that's for the equity side. In terms of responsibility, are you an authorizing officer? Are you the CEO? Are you the founder? Are you a CFO? Are you a chief operating officer? So whatever titles you have will dictate what kind of responsibility you have. And US Bank wants to have a clear idea of your position within the company. So this is very important. You have to understand. And this is why you have to be very clear here, because anything you say on this business loan application will have legal implications. So be truthful, be clear and specific. So when they ask you, do you have a significant responsibility to manage or control the company? If yes, put yes. If you're not the only person who has substantial authority in the company, you want to list all the parties who have substantial authority in the company. Next, we want to talk about what date was the business established under the current ownership. This question has dual implications. There are two factors here. First of all, they're asking you when the business was established. Maybe you founded the company, so there's no problem. So you have to put the date it was established. But they're also asking you under the current ownership. So there are cases where you might have acquired the business after it was established. So US Bank is not interested in knowing when the business was created per se. They were interested when you, the current owner, has taken over the business, because then they can actually evaluate the efficiency, the effectiveness with which you have managed the business in terms of profitability, in terms of market share expansion, in terms of efficiency, in terms of operational stability. To pay attention to that, because you have to understand business credit is a rules-based exercise. So they pay attention to geography, pay attention to the macro in the industry, pay attention to the leadership of the business. Now they want to know the loan purpose. Here you have to say, so we put operations or expenses, so inventory, accounts receivables, and so on and so forth. One thing that's very important here is that when you say you established the business on a certain date, be sure that you can prove the date. And there are several ways you can prove the date. You can prove the date through the articles of incorporation or articles of organization, if you're an LLC or S Corp or C Corp. There are other ways, for example, through your financial statements, where you can prove that you are established on a certain date. In terms of proving the loan purpose, if you have a business plan, that's fantastic. Or if you have a budgetary plan, that's important. That's fantastic. What I'm trying to say here is you want to substantiate why you need the money and what you need the money for. Next, they're asking you if you are a US Bank customer. And here we put yes. Normally, the thing here is that you have to be a US Bank customer to qualify for this loan, or at least to boost your chances of qualifying. Okay, so here we put here, you can see your application checklist. In our case, we put no because we're not a US Bank customer. But it's just ideal that you'll be a customer. And they're showing you on the next screenshot your application checklist, what you will need: your social security number or ITIN number, gross annual sales, and you need to be a legal resident of the United States. And you can receive a rate discount by repaying your loan from a US Bank business checking account. I was talking to you earlier about the MPR, and application will save automatically, and the financial documents may be required. Next, you can see here that they're also showing you in terms of some industries, what they call the prohibited industries. You got to be aware of that. You can see on the screen. So everything relating to marijuana or adult industry, they're just trying to stay away from that. Click next. So after you do that, US Bank wants to have a clear idea of whom they were dealing with. So personal information, personal contact. So here you want to put your first name, first of all, your email, your first name and last name, If you have a middle name, put that in there. And now they want to have an idea about your phone number. If you have a phone number, just if this is a mobile phone, specify that. Now, if you give your phone number, your mobile, your cell phone, they might be bothering you from time to time with, I would say, some telemarketing calls. I mean, just be aware that they might be texting you new offers, whatever. They all big banks and financial institutions in general, they do that. Okay, so be clear about that. You can give them the number you want to be called with no problem. Next, you have to click next, and now they're asking you about your personal address. Put your address, your city, the state. Next, they're asking you for your zip. Put your zip code. And is the U.S. your country of permanent residence? Yes. Is your business based out of your home? You can say yes. If it's no, I mean, it's totally up to you, right? But again, the whole idea is to get an EIN-only business loan application. So the whole idea is to separate your personal affairs from your business affairs. If for now you have decided to work from home and it works for you, fantastic, not a problem. They're asking you for your mailing address. You have to put your personal address or anything else. Well, we have put that the business is located out of the home, so we should be having another address, but it's okay. You know what to say here. And now here they want to have more information about you in terms of personal identification. So they're asking for your birth date. You put it there. Folks, all the information we put on in this form is fictitious, all right? This is just a tutorial. We're not risking a hard pull on any team member here. So you put your social, your employment status, the country where your your country of citizenship. One thing I want to say here is that in terms of your employment, you can actually be a full-time, part-time, doesn't really matter. You can be a seasonal worker, a temporary worker. U.S. Bank cares a lot about liquidity. Of course, they care about stability in terms of employment, but they care more about liquidity. They care more about how you're generating your income. You can have passive income, you can have active income, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, as long as you are generating legit income, that's all that matters. Moving on, folks. Now, they want to have some information about the business name and structure. Folks, we are still talking about U.S. Bank business loan application, line by line instructions. You can structure the business loan on an EIN basis or without an EIN basis. Not a problem. So here we want to talk about the business name and structure. So they're asking you what your company structure is. There are several structures that you can choose from. You can be an LLC, you can be a C Corp, you can be an S Corp, you can be an LP, you can be a sole proprietorship. Not a problem there. Next, they want to know if you operate under a DBA. Do you have a doing business as? What is a DBA? This is optional though. A DBA is simply, let's say you are currently listening to this show. We're called the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. This could be our DBA. And the show can be owned, the company behind this show can be called ABC Company. All right. So if you have such a legal setup, then you want to put your DBA there. They're asking you for your legal business name. And you want to put your employer identification number. So this has to match your official records, because sometimes U.S. Bank might ask for the confirmation letter you got from the IRS when you applied for your EIN. And if you are not set up, if you're not incorporated, then you are a sole proprietorship. So in this case, your EIN will be your social. But again, to get a loan, to get a high limit, to get a massive loan from U.S. Bank or any other bank for that matter, you want to incorporate. We strongly encourage you to do that. Next, they're asking you if your primary business operations are located in the United States. In this case, yes. Which state is your business registered in? You have to put your state of registration here. This doesn't really matter. It's just for archiving and or for documentation purposes. You have to click next. And now they want to have more information about the industry. This is what I was telling you earlier, that U.S. Bank pays attention to the macro. They want to know the general trends in the industry, what's the beta, what's the risk exposure, what's the capital needs in that industry. So they want you to put your industry, and this is where NICS is really important, your NICS code. Okay, so here for this exercise we chose marketing consulting services, but the thing here, you want to put one that really fits your particular situation. All right, and click next. Now they want to have some information about your gross annual sales. But before we do this, folks, let me get right back right after this, and we'll continue the tutorial. Thank you. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Security Kiwi Show. I'm still explaining to you U.S. Bank business loan application line-by-line instructions. And before the break, I was talking to you about gross annual sales. Let's just pick it from there. So gross annual sales, you have to put those. This is gross. It has to be gross income. So there are several ways to do this. You can look into your statement of profit and loss, your statement of income, right? Your P&L, and you pick the gross revenue. Here we put 120 grand, and what they're asking you where they should deposit your funds. So you can say account at another institution. So in this case, you put the routing number and the account number. But again, folks, I will never overemphasize this. It is important. If your goal is to get a U.S. Bank business loan a U.S. Bank business loan, it's a lot better to have a checking account or a savings account with U.S. Bank. They will never write it down, but honestly, you are boosting your chances of having a relationship with the bank from whom you want to borrow, especially at the business level. It's all about relationship. And it doesn't matter whether you have poor credit, fair credit, you want to have a multi-product relationship. This is really important. We have sometimes we receive criticism from folks who have no idea how the business game is played in business, how the credit game is played in business. When we say establish a relationship, they keep telling us, hey, listen, I just want to borrow. Well, the reason why you keep getting denied over and over and over is because you don't want to learn how the business credit game is played, and is played at the relationship level. So you want to establish a relationship, okay? And the one thing I want to say here is that for gross annual sales, make sure that you have the right number from last year's P&L, because U.S. Bank might require you to send them your financial statements. Besides the P&L, they might ask for your balance sheet, your company's balance sheet, your company's statement of cash flows, and your company's statement of owner's equity. Let's move on here. We still have other information about the business loan. So you have to put the account at U.S. Bank, your account number, and you want to certify gross annual sales. This is important. This has legal authority. So certify means that you are telling U.S. Bank that you are telling the truth. Click next. And now you have to add other information here when you click next. Remember that in this case, we put fictitious account numbers. Everything here is fictitious, okay, folks? So that because U.S. Bank wants to know if this is a checking or savings account, we put checking, and then we certified. Next, here, they have the loan details. So how much you would like to borrow. So they're giving you, you put the amount you want to borrow and the term requested. And automatically the system will tell you how much you'll have to pay per month. The question is, can you afford it? Is the loan term good? Because this has budgetary implications. It has P&L implications. Those are things you need to think about. Next, they want you to review. So once you click on next, they want you to review the application. Remember, at any time during the application process, if you have any questions, you have any comments, you have any doubts, you can call U.S. Bank at 1-844-300-9678. They are available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Central. Okay, and you have the number that is shown on each page as you go through the application online. And our recommendation backed by years of experience, years of expertise in the business credit game, is to always apply for this kind of business loans at the branch. With big national banks, it's a lot better to establish a relationship and go and talk to a banker before signing the promissory note. We're just doing this online to show you how the process works, but if you want to do it for real, it's just a lot better to go to a branch. Okay, so you want to review the application, you want to review all the information that you put in there. Let's go through all the applications here so you can see your first name, last name, the business. This is the home-based business. You want to put all the info. You want to review everything. Remember that you have the ability to edit all the information that is here. If you don't like or you made a mistake or anything, you can just so you can edit it. So we have the address, the business address, the mailing address, the identification when you were born, your social, your citizenship status, your employment status. Moving on here, we have the business legal structure, everything we just inputted, right? Your employer identification number, the legal name of the business, the state of registration. This is important because if you're registered in a specific state, U.S. Bank might ask you for your articles of, first of all, your certificate of incorporation. They might ask for your articles of incorporation if you are a C Corp or S Corp, or they might ask for your articles of organization if you are an LLC, LP, or any kind of a partnership organization. Okay, and now they're asking you for your gross annual sales. This is important to put the right number, and they're asking you for other information. Moving on here, you click next. So once you're done, once you're comfortable with everything, you need to submit for initial credit decision. Okay, and here you just go through, you have to check all the 4 boxes there. You certify, you notify US Bank of any problems if there are, you certify that everything is true to your knowledge, and that you just need to certify. And again, those certifications have legal implications, so be clear about them before you sign. Once you're ready, click submit. And that's it, folks. This is how a US Bank business loan application goes. And I hope that those line-by-line instructions were very helpful to you. And I wish you the best of luck. I wish you, God bless you in your business, and I hope that you will be approved the next time you apply at a U.S. bank for a business loan, whether it is on an EIN-only or not an EIN-only basis. Thank you so much for your attention. I'll speak to you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.